All right. So let's continue on my Amazon experience. We're going to talk about day 4 and day 5. These 2 days are going to be, and again, depends on your DSP. Every DSP is a little bit different. You might do on the road training on day 3 rather than day 4. But here in North Carolina, my DSP starts on the road training on day 4. Okay, so after day 3, after you take the driver's test and after you meet with management to finalize some paperwork, it takes about two to 3 days for everything to get finalized in the system, especially with your driver's license, your social security information, where your the bank information, where your paycheck's going to go, kind of thing. So don't be surprised, and if it's over a weekend, it might be 4 or 5 days. So don't be surprised if there's a few days after you go through the initial training to where you don't hear from anything. But again, if it's been more than 5 days, I would say call. But again, less than 5, you should hear something within 5 days. Realistically, especially as we're going into peak season, probably 2 or 3 days. And what happened to me was I got a text message saying that actual orientation begins. Actually, it was like Friday night at 6. I got a text to come in Saturday at a half hour earlier than usual, at 10, right, or 10:30. And what will happen at orientation is they'll try to get you a uniform. Basically, all I got on that day was a pair of pants. I tried on a shirt; it was too small, so they had to order me a shirt. And again, I think after a week you get not 2 uniforms, and after a month, I think you get a coat or a jacket. The longer you're at Amazon, the more swag for your uniform you'll get. So after that, after you meet with the operations manager, they'll tell you to download apps, right? Different apps that you'll be working with throughout the workday. And then you'll go out and you'll actually start a day of work. You'll actually go out. We have a little space in the parking lot. We all gather around a circle, and they'll talk about announcements. How's the weather today? This person did a great job yesterday with their shout outs and that sort of thing, little announcements. And I really appreciate the little meetups because, 6 years at Walmart, we barely had this. And really, the company policy at Walmart was that you were supposed to have a little meetup, at the beginning of the day. One manager we had did a really good job with that, but the manager I had the last couple of years was really stinky about that and never had any meetups. So yeah. So after that, you'll do a van inspection. You'll take pictures with the phone of if there's any damage. You go to your supervisor and say, hey, listen, there's a big dent on the side of the door, and you let them know. After that, you get inside the van and you turn it on, and then you make sure all the lights are working, the turn signals. Also make sure that there's gas. You have a full tank of gas. The very first day, I looked at the fuel level, said 1 mile to empty. And I let the supervisor know. We went to another van. But make sure, even if they don't tell you to check the fuel level, check the fuel level. Make sure there's more than a mile. Make sure make sure there's a full tank of gas. If there's not, let the supervisor know. Very important. After that, you'll start lining up. You'll go from the parking lot. You'll all line up on a little service road that'll go to the distribution center, and then you'll meet up with the little gatekeeper man, and it'll tell you, okay, today you're on pad A, B, or C. The pads are basically the sides of the building, so you might be side A or side B. You go, and you'll get this little fanny pack. It has your company phone, charger, gas card, and very important, a piece of paper, right? On that piece of paper, there'll be your cart number. And when you get out and go to the pad site and park the van, the piece of paper will have actual information on what cart to get, okay? And on that cart, you'll have these big, huge tote boxes, and you'll usually have about probably 6 of them, and they'll be filled with several packages, and little small packages, like let's say the size of this box of granola bars or something. And then you'll have a few packages that are too big for these totes, and they'll be called oversized. So I think on my first day I had like 100 packages of this size, and then like 10 overflow packages, okay? And then and you'll scan them in with your phone, and after you get all of them done, you want to start looking at your very first the first part. You'll go on your phone, look at your route for that day, and you'll want to kind of organize the first part of your route. After you get that done, it should be about time to go. You have about 20 minutes to load up your van, and at the end, if it's still not time to go yet, you'll go out and you'll go to look at some other people's and help them load their van, okay? After 20 minutes, you drive out of the building and you start your delivery route. And you always hit the there's an app, it's called Mentor. You always hit the button that says begin route, and that keeps track of your driving. Make sure you're not running traffic lights, make sure you're not speeding excessively, all that stuff. Also make sure you don't slam on brakes, you accelerate, no jackrabbit starts, that sort of thing. So my first day I was on the road, I started by myself delivering. Now I had somebody help me load first day, fortunately, but then after that I was on my own for the first. It took about 20 minutes to get to the start of the delivery route, and then another 20 minutes of delivering. But then about 45 minutes in, there was a dispatcher sent another driver, because technically on your very first day you're supposed to have another person drive with you, but we were actually short staffed. This was on a Saturday, so it took them a little while to get me another driver, but they did. Had a fun time. The man with me drove, and I was actually the person that got the packages out and scanned them and walked up to the customer's door to deliver them. Okay, so that was day 4 in a nutshell.